happening, YouTube? Be sure to make sure y'all like, share, comment, and subscribe, bro. Apparently, Katt Williams has victims, bro. So we're gonna check in on this video and see what they talking about.
Comedian and actor celebrated for his electrifying energy and razor-sharp delivery. He's regarded as one of the most distinctive voices of his generation. Since breaking onto the scene in the late 90s, Katt has embraced a style that fuses storytelling, impressions, and harsh truths about reality, delivered with an energy that feels almost untouchable.
I'm gonna say something to you that sounds like a made it up, and it's really in the news. The FBI said they don't know who's was at the White House. What? What type of investigation did you do? We don't know whose it is. It was in Hunter Biden's room. It said Hunter's on the bag. What do you mean who's? It's crazy. Joe is doing the best he mother can. We done lowered the bar so low for Joe. As long as Joe don't fall, we be fine. Go on and get up them stairs, Joe. There you go. That's a boy.
But just as much as he's known for making people laugh, Katt has also become infamous for the chaos that seems to follow him everywhere he goes. From multiple arrests, live shows.
Bro, Katt Williams? He don't care, but where he been at?
Roast sessions, and even viral fights. Katt Williams has spent years building a reputation not just as a comedic genius, but as someone who leaves behind a long trail of victims that spanned from his fellow comedians, rappers, and even professional athletes.
From what I heard, Katt Williams has helped out everybody he's ever come across.
Like, do you think Shaq could be a stand-up comedian? Who do you think?
I think that Shaq and Russell Simmons should get out of comedy and stay in their lane. They don't see us making a league of professional basketball players under 6 foot. So what qualifies these dudes because they got $100 million to come over in comedy and do Shaq's All-Star? Get out of here, you bum.
At times, Katt has even hinted at the darker side of Hollywood, long before those conversations became public knowledge.
Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right, because P. Diddy be wanting to party, and you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you. That's why I can say them so freely.
It's your boy Luesta, and today we're gonna break down exactly why crossing Katt Williams might just be the worst mistake of your career. One person to learn this the hard way was the late great Wanda Smith, who got roasted so brutally that she not only lost her job, but the fallout even led to a gun being pulled out on the comedian. In the wake of her passing in October 2024, an old clip began resurfacing across social media. The infamous 2018 interview between Atlanta radio host and former comedian Wanda Smith and Katt Williams was started as Katt simply showing up to support his friend Red Grant and celebrate his Emmy win for Atlanta, quickly turned into one of the most diabolical roast sessions the internet has ever seen. But before things spiraled into insults, the conversation actually started on a very different note. The mood started off light, with the hosts asking Katt what it takes to make a great comedy special, and Katt reminding them that he has already dropped 9 of his own, more than almost anyone in the game, which were also all financed by himself.
So you've done 9 filmed comedy stand-up specials?
Without ever getting financed or having a deal with anybody.
You did them by yourself?
Yes, I own them 100%. I have the top 2 comedy specials on Showtime, HBO, Comedy Central, and we just moved to Netflix.
I didn't know that.
Nobody does. They don't promote it or sell the items after they come out because I own them lock, stock, and barrel, and I don't have any Caucasian partners or people that invest. I'm 50. I've never had a bank loan or a car lease in my life.
Are you serious?
That's correct.
From there, the conversation shifted to Netflix deals, with Katt breaking down why comedians like Monique were underpaid, while Hollywood propped up names like Kevin Hart, Tiffany Haddish, and Gerard Carmichael, even though, in his words, nobody was really watching their specials.
Let you do your special, Gerard Carmichael, but nobody's gonna watch it. They're gonna let you be a star, Lil Rel, but you ugly. And white people don't believe in ugly stars. They think you have to be somebody that women want to sleep with and men want to be. But because we black, they say, oh, you don't even deserve that. So you get Kevin Hart, Lil Rel, Gerard Carmichael, all in a row, Hannibal Buress, just dudes that no woman would talk to in Lenox Mall, let alone you making them movie stars. Why? Because you know ain't nobody gonna sleep with them. You only got Tiffany Haddish. She been doing comedy since she was 16. You can't tell me your favorite Tiffany Haddish joke. Why? Because she ain't done a tour yet. She ain't done a special. She has not proven the ability to tell jokes back to back for an hour to nobody. And they already ready to down Monique and up somebody who has showed them Girls Trip. Did you think she wrote Girls Trip, goofball?
And this is where things started to take a serious turn. Because once the talk shifted to Tiffany
Katt Williams fuck with Tiffany Haddish the long way.
Haddish, Wanda started to push back. She didn't like how Katt dismissed her as someone who got lucky rather than someone who earned her spot in the game.
So this house I'm in right now, let me show you how I invested into it with just a few $100s. Using
But the real sparks came later when Katt turned his attention directly on Wanda, starting with a simple question where he asked how many kids she had.
How many kids you got, Wanda?
I have 3 boys.
Excellent.
Yes, I do.
From here, the tension began to escalate more and more, with each of Wanda's answers giving Katt more fuel to churn her into a laughingstock for the entire room.
What's your favorite thing to cook? Your boys,
They like for me to, I do a really nice broccoli. They like my broccoli and they love my baked chicken.
Hey, right now, look up your phone and see what it takes to make broccoli and tell me does it say heat up water?
Bruh, I just can't see no kids like, I love when mom makes broccoli.
That's the only step in broccoli. Simmer. Water. Simmer. Have you ever heard of burned broccoli? Can you burn broccoli? You can't burn it because it's made in a pot of water.
You don't know nothing about.
You know what her second meal they love from her? What I do with corn. I like to get it out that can and I put it in there. And then I get a can of water and I put it on there. And then I get some Zatarain's. They don't expect that. I sprinkle Zatarain's on my
great cook.
Aw.
Whatever.
Yes, ma'am. You good at heating stuff up.
As Wanda began to feel offended, she tried to get more personal. But little did she know this was the worst move to make against a comedian like Katt.
You're good at telling us about what's going on in jail.
Yes, ma'am, ain't getting out to tell you. But I'm going to tell you at an arena named Phillips, and you going to tell me at the Atlanta Comedy Theater.
That's right, true.
Tomorrow, be there.
This was the breaking point. To Katt, mentioning his kids and dragging his criminal past into the conversation was crossing the line. And instead of letting things end peacefully, she poked the bear again right before they were about to close out the show, provoking Katt to let the entire clip fly.
Get on out of here with your crazy ass.
Is he crazy?
And help me get to the salon. All right, it's the People Station Viewer 3. Your hair is kind of...
That joint was...
My hair is 19 inches long and I have no perm.
You don't?
Oops.
Oh, that's not a perm.
No, it is not. Nice lady.
That's natural.
Come run one of your gnarled fingers. While you on air. So they can hear you live.
Come on. Let me come over here.
No. That's not how that works.
Oh, okay. Well, then stay over there.
Don't worry. Ain't nobody putting their hands through yours.
That's right. They don't have to. I don't want them to. Get on out of here. You okay? You okay?
Only one of our hands moving while we talk.
Are you all right? And make sure
that wig and the headphones come together.
Take off them old ass clothes you got on. How about that? Yeah, they're old.
Versace, yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. She said, Versace.
I want to apologize to the people at Versace Collection. This is your 2019 summer line that hasn't come out.
But you had to open it up and show us it was Versace. I wanted to.
No, I didn't have to open it up. These people are on radio. They can't see anything.
By the end, fans felt like this was the very reason why he would go down as a legendary comic. Wanda got cooked. Red Grant laughing like a hyena in the background. Katt is hyper intelligent, eloquently straight talking, smooth operating artist businessman. He's one of a kind. But the embarrassment didn't stop there. As the clip resurfaced, people wondered why on earth he would go so hard on her, almost as if he came with a personal vendetta against her. But Katt stood by his decision to tear her apart, explaining that once Wanda brought up his family and then his criminal history, she crossed a line that, in his mind, made her roast well-deserved. And considering that they specifically agreed to not discuss it before the show went live, it only made things worse.
It was the fact that before I go in there, she has a conversation about, okay, now, I just want to talk to you because you just won an Emmy for the city of Atlanta, and this is in Atlanta, and they just want to hear about the Emmy and hear from you and to thank you for what you did putting the city on. Right. And we won't talk about your kids. We won't talk about jail, no cases. We ain't going to talk about none of that. Right. And immediately gets in there and goes the opposite way. You can't flip up on me because you're an inferior comedian. I'm going to destroy you, and I'm never going to call you out of your name. I'm never gonna say anything disrespectful to people that look like you. It's a very thin line I gotta call.
While most people thought this was just another instance of a comedian simply being hilarious, Wanda was about to make it clear that she didn't think it was all that funny, as just a couple of days after the interview aired, an angry and embarrassed Wanda allegedly told her husband to come confront Katt outside of a comedy club, leading to an incident where someone reportedly pulled out a gun on Katt. And you can argue that for this reason alone, Katt felt no remorse.
You did a number on him. That's legendary.
No, you either believe in karma or you don't. Because I didn't even know any of the stuff that she had done to my fellow comedians until afterwards. I just know that it was a setup.
Right.
And remember, they tried to kill me this same weekend. Not in jokes, with a real gun in my real face on real camera. Understand I'm losing my life for participating in something that goes along with my job. Like, it's two comedians, what do you mean?
Not long after, Wanda was let go from her job at V103 Radio, making what essentially began as a lighthearted interview end up derailing her entire career. But it raises the question, why does Katt get so defensive whenever his
It all began with losing one bottom tooth.
jail record is brought up? The truth even took Kevin's ex, the mother of his child, on tour with him. The truth is, just like Tiffany Haddish, Katt sees Kevin as a product of Hollywood gatekeepers, the kind of system that lets a chosen few in, while locking everyone else out. And Kevin wasn't the only one, because right after, Katt turned his sights to another so-called comedy giant, Chris Rock. Katt Williams wasn't shy about making enemies in 2016, and one of his biggest names he set sights on was Chris Rock.
I meant to cut the head of the snake. So my special will no longer be in Philly, it'll be in New York at the Barclays, where I cut off the head of Chris Rock.
In the eyes of Katt, he believes Chris Rock is the official face for black comedians who sell out in order to make it big. During an interview on the Chicago Morning Takeover, Katt didn't hold back, implying Chris Rock was a full-on sellout while firing brutal shots at his character, image, and even his personal life.
What's your beef with Chris Rock?
The king of coons, number one. He doesn't like black women, number two. He has the hands of an orangutan, number three. He wouldn't put his own brother on who has his same name, number five.
That was four. That was four.
And what he did to the little African baby that he pretended he was raising, number six. I got plenty of reasons.
I always thought Chris Rock was one of the persons that stood up for black people in his game.
I'm not interested in what people think. I'm interested in telling the truth.
This wasn't just a random outburst either. Earlier that month, during a stand-up set, Katt explained that when he shaded Kevin Hart, he actually meant to aim his fire at Chris Rock instead, because in his words, Rock was the head of the snake, especially when it came to sellouts.
I could have done him already. I just chose not to. I chose to do Kevin instead of him.
And that wasn't truth? That's why you apologized?
It wouldn't have killed the snake.
So when you say that he's your next target, though, what does that mean? Like, you have him?
It means what it means. What do you, my next target, mean?
No. My question for you is, let me get to the question is, are you going to be having stand-up
no more, like it meant with Steve Harvey? So Chris Rock will be retiring from stand-up, like Steve Harvey did, never to return again.
Right.
Wow.
Chris Rock, meanwhile, didn't respond with words. Instead, he clapped back in his own way, posting an old photo of the two of them together on Instagram with the caption, "It's Old Picture Thursday." It was short, subtle, and just dismissive enough to let fans know he wasn't taking the bait. Not much was said from both parties after. However, Katt continued on with his verbal assault after Will Smith smacked him in front of the full view of the entire world, on top of believing it was rehearsed and planned. He also thinks that Chris Rock did it to receive a $50 million Netflix deal after, saying that Rock was a perfect target because his face was so slappable.
Not Will Smith and Chris Rock. These are when two large boulders come together and you can't see Chris Rock winning at all. He's humiliated. If you were gonna slap a comedian, he was the number one to slap. Head of the coons. So slappable. And if you're gonna slap him, you just need the greatest guy the bestest guy, the one who's shown us him being on his best behavior since the 90s. That guy is the one that will have to slap in order for the type of ratings we need and attention to be on this thing.
The next person he lined up was Tyler Perry. As I briefly referred to earlier, Katt hates quote-unquote gatekeepers.
Because they tell you that there's no gatekeepers, but we keep seeing the same people open the gate. What do you mean ain't no gatekeepers? There's 100 gates out here. Everyone I've seen got a keeper.
Therefore, Katt Williams proceeded to call out these gatekeepers by name, starting with the media mogul Tyler Perry. He directly accused Tyler of being a gatekeeper who doesn't help elevate black people to a level anywhere close to where he's at.
You know what I mean? He ain't put nobody on. The people that been in his productions, they not famous. All of them could walk through the mall without security. Be what you gonna be, but put your people on. If you a gay person and you in there, put some other gay people on. Put somebody on. Or don't be wondering why people keep saying gatekeepers. Because clearly, y'all are keeping these gates. Clearly.
From there, after tearing into Tyler Perry, Katt turned his attention to another one, this time within the comedy world. His target, Steve Harvey, or as Katt likes to call him, Mr. Potato Head. Katt claims Steve has always been more concerned with protecting his own status than helping the culture progress. In Katt's mind, a true veteran's job is to open doors for the next generation, not slam them shut to keep the spotlight for himself. He also felt like Steve Harvey often undercuts other black comedians. For example, he boldly claimed that Steve never wanted to stand side by side with other comedians unless he had the upper hand, and that's what led him to beefing with Bernie Mac. Looking back now, many fans feel Katt had a point. It's long been rumored that during the Kings of Comedy tour, which featured Bernie Mac, Cedric the Entertainer, and Steve Harvey, tensions flared behind the scenes. Bernie said about raising kids became iconic, and he was often seen as the breakout star of the tour.
You know, no, I can't believe the fucking kids. Everybody talking about kids. Everybody talking about how bad kids is. You know it's bad, but see, you can't say kids bad. I say it for you. These motherfuckers bad.
Anyway, be sure to make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe, chat.